My mentor in this business talked to me about failure because he wasn't a
Yes.
salesperson. He didn't want to sell me a laundromat. He didn't want to sell me equipment. Now, this is 20 years later, and I find that his discussions about failing are what I really want to bring to the table to folks like you. We make some phone calls. Look, whatever the job, whatever the situation, whatever you are doing day to day, there's so much desperation when people tell me, I just want to get a laundromat. Dude, there are people that buy laundromats every single day. They scrape together every penny they can just to make a down payment on rented space. They walk in there, it stinks. The equipment is all old. The walls are either pink or blue for whatever reason, and they buy that place. And then the veneer starts to crack. You ever buy a used car that you were in love with?
No.
Well, you shit on my analogy, didn't you?
Well, so yes, I did.
Don't lie to me. I'm
if
not
I'm
a
gonna
liar.
spend a certain,
You gotta have that Harley. You love it. You see them from afar. You watch guys roll down the road on a Harley. They're old. They got beards. They're bikers. They got tattoos. You want that lifestyle. Then you buy one and it sits in your garage and it leaks oil everywhere. And you realize that's not really what you thought it was going to be. So you email.
Yeah, you made a mistake.
We use look, I shouldn't give a shit. I should just say, yeah, whatever, good for you. Today's date, update. Please negotiate the best lease rate of rent you can, and let's put an LOI in his hands.
I understand, but don't you think every situation is a little different as far as
no,
this one
you're
goes?
desperate to get a laundromat, and whatever it is that you think that you're going to get the tattoos and the beard and you're going to be rolling just free on the freeway, high as a kite, living your best life. I'm here to tell you to calm down and realize that if this never happens for you and you never get a laundromat, you're better off than being destroyed by $3 per square foot. Do you know what it's like to own a small business and lose every month?
Yeah, I had a laundromat before. I didn't lose every month, but I had one before.
So plead your best case. Tell me why you wrote this note.
I get a lease at this place. I could sell it tomorrow. I can flip it. Worst case scenario.
Are you going to email me and you going to cut me in on the flip?
If you want that, that wasn't part of the deal, but I don't care.
It's not what I do. It's not what I do.
I know, but it's a fully functional laundromat. It doesn't need to be retooled. I know the MO and how we operate and what we're looking for, what we're doing. But every now and then you see something a little different where this doesn't need to be retooled. I can move in, get it functioning, open up the doors in less than 30 days.
Rather than do what I normally do, you want me to call this guy up and just lay down because you want the lease no matter what.
Whoever gets this could flip it. You know, like someone would pay $150,000.
Well, if Gary is smart, he's going to have a clause in the lease that says that if you sell the business,
yes,
that there will be key fees or lease allocation fees, either a percentage of profit or a flat rate. I'm just saying. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Landlords in his situation are asking key money right out the door, $50,000, $25,000, even if it's just a little bit.
If I'm a turd, I'm just going to call this guy and lay down and do whatever he says, because
no, not lay down.
I don't understand what the note even means. I just don't understand what it means. I'm not supposed to. Explain it to me, because you can sell the store, and that's okay. That's a new plan. I get it. So we spoke to Gary. There's no date.
Yeah, we spoke to him. It's a little down. You offered him 20 and he didn't budge. He didn't, and he wasn't like, oh, maybe I can do 30 or anything. I feel like we just need to put something in his hand, even if we write it, closer to what he wants, just throw a hat in the ring. But this is all just talk because all the advertisements are offline. So I think it's already rented out.
Let's call him up. Gary.
Hello. Yeah.
Danny, the laundry guy.
Danny, what's up?
Beach Channel Drive.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, every word. Beach Channel Drive. We're wondering if we're going to give you a letter of intent and get a lease done here.
Well, it's up to you if you're going to give me a letter of intent.
Okay. I would. What I would like to do is at least get close on this call so that, you know, the LOI is just a piece of paper. It's a single page. It's not a big deal, but you're the decision maker. So if we can get close on the telephone.
Actually, I'm not.
Okay.
I have partners, so I'm not the decision maker.
Okay. And I believe that's where we left it last time. You've got partners.
Yeah, I think you were going to talk to your partner or something, and you were going to call me back is where we left off.
Sure. Well, I know what I want to pay, and it is as little as possible. And what you want to collect is as much as you can. We went through that. But tell me what offer is going to be accepted, or at least how can I get close? I'm in no rush to do this.
Yeah, we're basically at $6,000 a month net.
As far as a lease goes, you're talking about a gross lease rate?
$6,000 a month plus taxes.
Okay. So $6,000 a month triple net.
Correct.
Now, I need a 15-year term, Gary. So if I do a 15-year term, I'm not going to...
You're breaking up on me.
I need a 15-year term.
Yeah, we got a bad connection.
I'm sitting in my office.
And let me see what I can get for you.
Sitting in my office, I can hear every word. So I need 15 years, and on a 15-year term, if I start at $5,000 plus taxes, plus CAMs, plus triple nets, am I going to be ignored? Because we can have 3% increases yearly.
Put it on paper, and let me talk to the partners.
Okay. Again, the only reason I'm calling you is because I want to understand. I normally ask for 12 months of rent abatement. What type of abatement do you offer on a 15 or even a 20-year lease?
We got a turnkey operation over there. We're not really offering any abatement.
All right. Well, but we're going to retool it. So 0 abatement.
Yep. If you're going to put in all new equipment and it's going to stay when you leave, maybe we could talk about, working something out.
No, we are. That'll be in the LOI.
Mm-hmm.
How many pages is your lease?
Excuse me?
How many pages is your lease?
20-something.
Good. I have your email. All right, give us a day. We'll send you a letter of intent. Anything untoward in there, anything that doesn't make sense to you, call me direct. This is my cell.
You got it. Thank you.
I beg you, I plead with you, as I do all of my clients, please, please, please take good notes. Just like last time we spoke to him, I would have written down, number one, first and foremost, the dude sounds like he's asleep.
Yes.
I can't flip a switch in my head for any of my clients. I have single mothers who use a credit card to pay my fee. I have over-the-road truck drivers who literally stop at a truck stop in order to make the calls so they can try to scoop up their laundromat in their hometown and change their life and get off the road. Whatever disposition you're in, you're telling me, I really don't care, Danny. I hired you sort of as an aside to get this done. This guy, I know what I think. You tell me. What do you think? What do you think about this guy?
He's not budging. You know, he wants his money.
First of all, 10 seconds ago, you were scared to death. Oh, it's not listed anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought I lost it.
They leased it. I lost the deal. So you're laying in bed spinning like a spit, like a pig on a spit at a barbecue. Oh, I'm going to lose the laundromat. Oh. And Gary answers the phone and doesn't even know what day it is. Here I am. I famously, I say, I'm not a counselor and I'm not a motivational speaker. And here I am doing both. I don't know why I do it. I should just be a robot voice. Gary, how much do you want? So do you want to write this for $5,000 a month and make him that offer for a measly 2,000 square feet? Or you want to just give him the 6?
Fuck it. Give him the 6.
Yeah, give him the 6. Because you're on one side of this where you, but when you give them the 6, they're gonna want 7.
Yeah, and there's no way to retool at that price. I understand that.
Negotiating comes down to one thing: people like you who are scared they're not going to make the deal. I bought a house the other day, $500,000, made the offer, stuck to the offer. Forget about the $650 they wanted for it. I figure it's going to come in under appraisal. They've done a ton of work, and that's not that important, but they did a ton of work on this house. So that it behooves me as the buyer to offer what comps are going for. The work doesn't mean anything. It's the same as the house next door as far as real estate values are concerned. So they're thinking, oh, well, now they come back and the bank appraisal is under our offer. That's what we're going to pay. Cash offer, we're going to pay what the bank appraisal comes back at. And then there's that moment when they read, my wife and I, she's the decision maker. They come back and say, meet us halfway, pay the difference between your offer and what the bank appraisal came in at. And right then and there, do you want the house? Do you need the house? Are you so excited? It's a beautiful house. Perfect, underpriced in my opinion, with a pool that you don't get back. All of that. And there's that twinge, that moment, where your wife comes in the room and says, Santo, I really want it. Let's give them the extra $15,000.
No way.
Oh, okay. You know what I said?
Well, do you do it?
Fuck off.
Well, you said yes?
It took 11 minutes for them to say, okay.
Yeah.
There's the YouTube thumbnail. Danny makes 15 grand in 11 minutes. You're in that moment where, oh my God, oh no, let's call every day. Let's call this guy every day. Gary doesn't give a shit about you, this space. He's got partners.
Yeah.
Write the letter of intent for $5,100. Figure out what it comes out to. What is it? $3.74 a square foot. Okay, now's your chance to talk. So you just want to flip it. You just want to sell it. You want to find somebody that doesn't know who Danny D'Angelo is, doesn't understand that free laundromats are to be had all over the place, including Queens, New York. And okay, good. So
this one is 2 minutes away from my house compared to one
all right, good.
that is 2 hours
okay.
away from my house. I'm just putting a lot of factors into play. I'm just trying to see the big picture.
Let's play the
emotion.
Let's play the emotion game. Oh,
no, it's not emotion. It's not emotion.
So as the guy that you hired to negotiate the lease, I should be in a hurry to get this done, get you off my plate, right? That's what I should do. But I'm not, because I don't want to see you get destroyed. Whatever you put in the letter of intent, whether it's $5,000 or $6,000, we will send it completely and 100% up to you. You have to live with that. Personally, I'm just an advisor. I would make it for $4,002 because that's still $2 a square foot, and at $20. But again, you went frantically searching for the listing and couldn't find it, and thought, oh.
Dang, I haven't been doing this as long as you, but I've been seeing stores left and right get flipped and sold with key money, especially in New York.
Good. All right.
You want the laundromat, you need key money, and this guy's not asking for key money.
Right, because we don't pay it. We never pay key fees. We don't pay lease allocation fees. And if you see the lease, we'll say it's 20 pages. All right, make the LOI, send it to me.
Another turnoff.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I'll send. What about the other calls?
No. Goodbye. Deep breaths. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the lives. I think this call really speaks for itself. Is there a pill I can take where I shut off my emotion? I don't know. Maybe there is. I built my stores and my empire of laundromats by going into this well over 20 years ago, blind, deaf, and dumb. I had done well in other businesses. I was this captain of industry. I had made tons of money in real estate. If you want to watch my 700 YouTube videos, you'll see that. And when it came to the coin laundry business, I didn't know shit. There was no YouTube of laundries. There was YouTube, but it was mostly people fixing their transmission on their 1987 Toyota Corolla. So I bought that store for $250,000. And I walked in, and like I talked to Santo about, the veneer started to crack. That used car that your great uncle drove that you always loved. Well, 40 years ago, it was brand new off the assembly line, and that's why you loved it. Now you go out and find one, you make an offer, and you buy it, your dream car. The minute you put it in your driveway, you start to notice the oil leaks, the chipped paint, the engine numbers don't match. The veneer begins to crack. And I don't want to see my clients in that position. I certainly don't want to see you in that position. We'll get to your questions here in a second. I'm no saint. I charge for what I do. And more recently, people are scooping up my course. They're understanding it's very, very inexpensive. I'm not going to say cheap because it's flawless. The last time we added to the course was last week. People grab that for a few dollars, and that's all it is. And they look at it, and they watch the course content and videos. They comment in the comment sections. They can't believe that I'm writing them back. My phone bing bongs, and there's a comment. Allow me to comment within the course. There are fun quizzes in there. And those people's heads are full of the knowledge they know to go out in their town or city, state or country, and get this done. If he, she, they, them decide, I want to talk to Danny, send me an email. We can get on a phone consultation. I have thousands of clients in my phone. Emotion starts to come into this sometimes right away. The moment you get on a phone consultation with me, it's very, very different. I would be bored to tears if all I did is talk about laundromats. If you've talked to me on the phone and you have my cell phone number, let me know. I want to know what you're about, what makes you tick, because that's important. And also, I'm selfish. So when I speak to you, I want to be entertained. I want to know about your life. Are you an 82-year-old in Massachusetts, my oldest successful client? Or he was a 16-year-old in Colorado. His parents had to sign a lease for him. My youngest success story. Many of them blend together. It's been a long time. I think the purpose of this is my client sends me a follow-up call for this landlord who doesn't give a shit. Me, I do. I'm passionate about you doing this properly and not losing, ever. If it's his goal to flip the laundry, I don't know that. I don't have a switch that I can flip that says this client wants to make money flipping. The preponderance of my clients are new to this. They want to get the store. They want to start earning serious profit. What will you earn? If you buy a laundromat, likely nothing. Here, click this video. She lost $300,000 when she bought a laundromat. I don't record my consultations unless ahead of time that individual says, I'd like you to record this. I'd like people to see this. If you are watching this because you like to hear me yell at people, welcome aboard. Like and subscribe. If you're watching this and you're looking over your shoulder waiting for your boss to come by and beat your ass because you're not doing the cubicle work you're supposed to and filling out your TPS reports, then get the fucking course. Hope is a dangerous thing, and I'm here to give you that hope. I'm going to go to you guys real quick because there's tons of work to be done. I started to say a little something. I spoke to a client yesterday. We had a phone consultation, he and his lovely wife, and he said, why do you do this? Hadn't paid my retainer to call landlords yet. Why do you do this? That's very telling. Why do I do this? You know what that means? Why do I do it for the price I charge? Why do I not charge more? Prices go up every couple of years. I was supposed to increase my prices by thousands at the first of the year. It's almost 6 months in. I haven't done it. I don't need this money. But I will never exit this industry as long as there is breath in my lungs. I was at the CLA event. I've been invited into the fold suddenly. Went to San Diego, bought the biggest, baddest room they have, brought my podcast studio, click those things and watch those videos. They're great. This is an entire industry full of people who don't know what they're getting into. The first mic'd up interview I did standing at the meet and greet cocktail party was a laundromat equipment manufacturer. These are the big boys, the manufacturer. Mic'd him up, said, let me put my wine down. Gives a shit. You drink. It's a cocktail party. Let me put my wine down. Let me take off my name tag. Okay. I'm there representing you. I'm there representing reality. Let me know in the comments, what do you want me to ask this guy? Before you let me say the words, what do you want me to say? Well, I did it. Why don't you publish your pricing? He might as well have moonwalked out of the talk. Don't know the guy. Frankly, don't even remember which manufacturer it is. They don't publish their pricing because they want to, let me be careful with my words, gouge. They want to charge double for the equipment. Everyone that owns coin laundries, everyone at these industry conferences and meetings, we all scratch our heads and wonder why. I'm not a big channel. I don't have 2 million followers, nor do I want that. You'll see the interview. It's hard to watch. I'm stone cold sober with my fake drink with an olive in the bottom, working there for you, asking these questions. That weekend cost me, what was dinner, 6,000. I don't know. I spent 10 grand to go to this thing for you. And there were some highlights. There were some really important moments. A couple of those videos are already on my channel. Let's get to your comments. Hey, Danny, I'm currently in high school, looking for ways to slowly start building wealth. Any advice? You're already doing it. I applaud you. But I want you to think of this, high school kid. Not a side hustle. Whatever you do needs to be a serious, long-term endeavor. Don't listen to the horse shit and the side hustle. You're doing it now. The number one algorithm trending on YouTube right now is side hustle, small business. You know why? Because I'm afraid high school kids don't want to work. You're going to have to work to do it right. Own the company. There's the 3 words I want you to take with you. Own the. I don't give a shit if you have a bunch of jobs and careers like I did, 6 years in the Navy. Learn everything you can. I'm never going to have my own Navy, but every job I ever had, I culled and gathered information, and I thought, I'm smarter than this guy I'm working for. How do I change it? Now you're talking amongst yourself, never too young to scout ugly stores. See, that's the thing. I don't want to give the kid advice about owning coin laundromats. He might. I don't want to sell him my course. He might buy it. Means the world to me. I consult with young people. Anybody younger than 52 years old is young to me. And you might be surprised, we don't always talk about laundromats. If you have the course and you've seen the course, click the button and let's get on a phone consultation. We talked last week. Hi, Josh. Josh, let's start calling landlords. We should be doing that today. He said, abatement if you leave the equipment at the end. What the F? This is a fully functioning laundromat that they are handing away. And what the landlord often does is try to charge additional rates of rent for the F&E, the furnishings and equipment, okay? Try to follow me. The normal lease rate, and this is a phenomenal rate even at $6,000, to be honest. You have a gray shell, a box. It's 2,000 square feet in Glendale, Arizona. It's going to be 75 cents a square foot. In New York City, NYC, that 2,000 square feet might cost you $12,000. And if it has a shoe store in there where the shelves are and there's a register, let's say it's a Payless shoe source, but they've left and there's a couple shoes here and there. There's no value in the F&E. None. But this is a laundromat. And so what my client and many others think, OMG, I don't have to do anything. It's turnkey, absentee. It's not. If it's his goal to flip it, I've had clients do that. I can think of Hot Dogging with Dan for one. Took over the store, did some work, made some YouTube videos, $35,000 cash. Better than a sharp stick in the eye. I'd rather see you build this to a multi-million-dollar empire. Danny charged too much money for his services. For anyone who interested, just get the course or DVD. It's enough, I think he means enough, to start your journey. He charged too high and you don't need his help. Just do it. Well, there's a backhanded compliment, Ben. Never said anyone needs my help. Doesn't bother me at all. I charged him. So on one side of the coin is a guy that says I charge too much. Okay. Are you going to get on the phone and call landlords? I don't mean Ben, I mean you. Considering that. I don't know how people pay for my services, but more and more clients are telling me it's nowhere near enough. I'm going to get on the phone and make calls every single week. send out my letter of intent, do follow-ups. I've been on the telephone every Christmas day for the past 10 years. Big deal. Got a glass of wine in my hand. My mother's over there screaming at somebody. I'll step away because my client in Canada or Gibraltar or Ottumwa, Iowa, had a break-in. People like to try to break into laundries between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So they have a break-in, and I see it on Facebook. I'm scrolling just like you. I pick up the phone and call. Hey, man, what's up? Again, you're spinning like a spit in bed at night because someone tried to break into your ATM? Tell me the facts. Well, they never got in. They did a little bit of damage. Then a customer walked in. Hey, the knuckleheads, the dipshits, the crack addicts need to give presents to their kids too, so they're breaking into machines. What was the real damage? Nothing. Do you own the ATM? No, the company's coming tomorrow to replace it. Christmas Day? Day after Christmas. Real stories. And then I calm them down and say, what'd you lose? Sleep? Put it behind you. How do you negotiate to not put a deposit for the space? Meaning they will always say, since the beginning of the dinosaur, everyone has put in a deposit. Correct, Chewy. I don't say that now in the early phases, in the early stages. I don't say that in the inception. You would be ignored. Hey, Gary, we're not only going to pay you less than what is market rates of rent, but we're also not going to give you a deposit. No, you don't say that. This is part of my history, my learning process, my genius, if you will. Once Gary says yes to the letter of intent, we will say draft a lease. Once Gary drafts the lease will come over and it will have X deposit. 3 months rent, it might be $12,000. That's when we make a phone call. I have dozens of those calls on my channel. Look for zero deposit lease. They're not all likely named. That's when you call. Why? Because of the psychology. Because Gary and his partners have already decided that he's going to move forward with our group. They've flipped that switch. They've said yes to all of the other conditions. That's when we drop the hammer and say, well, we're not going to pay a deposit. You know what they always say? No one that we've ever dealt with, no tenant has gotten away without it. Okay, well, today's the day. First time for everything. And in reality, we even have more steps, more ability to change that. Now, Ben says that I'm not worth my salt. Okay. What I famously do is just with that deposit payment, make back. This is sounding like a sales call. Do you negotiate to put a deposit in the space? Same question. Watch his lives. I already watched around 200 of them. No joke. It's good. Okay, Ben. Great. Hey, Danny, I'm currently in high school. Okay, he said that again because he wanted to get into the comments again. How common is TI and what a common amount you're able to secure? Brian, we get tenant improvement money every single time. And asking that question, did anyone on this call know that rent abatement is real, that you get free rent? You do. You don't have to be Walmart to get free rent. TI is tenant improvement money. The last deal that I walked away from personally for my group, $78,000 check. Here you go. Because landlords are like insurance companies. How can you buy a brand new car, drive it off the lot, smack into a cement truck, thank God you're okay, all 57 airbags deployed, you walk back to the dealership, hey, here's my Allstate card, car was fully insured, had to be. The dealership doesn't own it. The manufacturer doesn't own it. You don't own it. The bank does. So you got your Allstate insurance. They give you the keys to a new car. You drive off the lot. How do they do that? If that happened to everyone, the insurance company would fail. They do that because of all the little old ladies paying their premium every month who never get an offender bender. That's the way landlords are. If they're a huge complex, there's a Best Buy and a Food Depot and a national chain and a McDonald's in the corner and this little dumpy laundromat that you're taking over, they can happily write you a check for TI. And if you don't have a dime, Brian, and you're fearful that you can't get into a business because you don't have the money, it takes money to make money, then pick and choose your landlord. Because in every town, constabulation, in every city, there is always that landlord. Hender says, welcome back. Hender, you're coming up next. If all this needs to be explained to you step by step, you need to hire Danny. Okay. Frankly, it's entirely up to you. There's no pressure here. You're seeing the real stuff happen in real time. I found a great location for a laundromat, and I'm trying to convince the landlord to build to suit. Any advice? Don't fucking do it. Daniel, let's say he found a perfect site. Daniel, if I don't end this here pretty quick, tell me what city you are in. If you live in a small, tiny little town and there's no laundromat, don't build a laundromat. Drive to the nearest city and do what we do. Do you really think, Daniel, that landlord is going to give you the build-out cost and not recoup it? Your rent is going to go from $1 a square foot after they do the plumbing, gas, water, electric, the drain troughs, the $150,000. Ever heard of this? TAP fees, TAP. The EPA wants their cut. Environmental impact fees will crush you. So you think that landlord's going to give you $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 to build the place and not get it back? Your rent is going to skyrocket. That's the way it works. I'm being condescending, but be realistic. There is no free lunch. There are free laundromats because that store has been built decades ago. That's the stores that we're calling on. That's why it's free laundromat. They've been built decades ago. The initial stupid son of a bitch that built the place probably never earned a dime. They had distributors come in and sold them the equipment for double the value. That's their problem. I don't take old ladies and throw them out the front plate glass window in their existing laundromat. I don't do that. If they have failed to the point where they're no longer paying, opened or closed, the preponderance of the stores we take over through this non-hostile process are operating, guys. They're not closed, they're operating. But what you don't know is that the operator, the leaseor, has already failed. And the minute you walk in and smell the fucking place, you know that. I hope that answers your question, Daniel. John says, I bought the DVD. It's a course now. Paid for his services. He really could charge a lot more. I know I could charge a lot more, John. And to be frank, I feel for the guy like Ben who says, I charge too much. I do. I feel for him because I wish I could work for him. But that's his choice. I don't want to be the unobtainium. I don't want to be the guy that has 4 clients a month and charges through the nose. Honestly, when people ask me, why do you do it? That's why. It's a ridiculous idea to do a laundromat in a small town, a population with 3,000. No. Asked and answered, counselor. It's not a ridiculous idea. As long as the laundromat already exists, we're going to take it over from the guy that's running it into the ground. Guy, gal, group, he, she, they, them. Nameless, faceless entities. And don't forget, they are not servicing the community. They are not servicing the community, or they would be making money. They would be going to coin laundry events. Those aren't those people. No one knows how many laundromats there are in the U.S. or the world. No one. No one. Too many mom and pops. Mac, he'll charge you enough rent to cover expenses for the life of the lease. No chance for you to make a profit. He's answering the other question. For the Danny 2 charges too much guy, add up the value of abatement and TI. Danny just said he gets every time. I do, Brian. The client on this call, though, doesn't care. We heard that. And I'm here clawing at the idea that he should care. He should. Daniel says he lives in Northern Ontario. You're not going to build a laundromat in Northern Ontario, bro. No way. I have tons of success stories in Canada. I even have those testimonials on my YouTube channel. Was something wrong with my question, says a guy. I don't know. I'm skipping over some people. Hey, Danny, glad I could catch your live at my desk. Looking forward to our call today. Okay. Is there a closed laundry 3 years? There is. Hi, Danny. Hi, Jorge. There's a closed laundry 3 years closed. The infrastructure is still there. Can I go for it? Sure. Sure. We love dirty, dingy, filthy, nasty, disgusting laundromats with old-ass broken equipment and poor procedures, payphones in the corner, disgusting, homeless people hanging out, playing craps. They don't do that anymore. Boxcars, Big Benny. We love those stores operating and running because behind that old equipment and the scumbags and the hobos, behind that is what we need. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in infrastructure. The minute they close, we need to be leery. I have a standard canned email with tons of before and after pictures that my students have sent, pictures of my stores that show you what you are looking for. You're looking for copper. There's your answer, Jorge. If the copper is still there, we're golden. Here's the smallest of tiny questions. Do you make individual LLC or build a franchise? You don't build a franchise. This is answered in the course. The last video regarding your exit. If you don't have an LLC right now and you're a human being, you're fucking up. Everyone needs limited liability companies. You can do it for free yourself. I pay my accountant $20. House I talked about that I bought, 2 LLCs there. One because I am leasing it, and one because I own it. Shit, I buy a bicycle, I start another LLC. John says, I'd rather let Danny do the negotiation than myself. Yeah, well, I don't know who Ben is, but I do know this. He was in the course and he saw what I charge. It's preposterous. And I don't want this to turn into that. I appreciate each and every one of you. Everyone that's on this call, ask yourself this. Do I enjoy Danny? Am I being entertained? Do I really want to change my life? If you answer yes to any of those, subscribe to the channel. Hit that little clicky button so you don't miss these lives, because I don't know when I'm going to go live. Shelly and I will be in Nice, then Monaco, then Spain. You know what I do? I work for you. I don't take vacations. I don't believe in the word. Vacation is for people that need to get out of the fucking cubicle. I love what I do. There's a juice to it. And Ben, the guy that said I charge too much, probably know me, Ben. Send me an email. It's no argument. Let me ask you, Ben, what's your plan? What's your plan for substantial generational wealth? I came from nothing. We didn't have juice boxes in the refrigerator when I was a kid. Literally 6 months homeless. Parents got divorced at 13. Thank God. They finally stopped arguing. My dad, freelance pharmacist. He sold drugs. Among other things, love the guy. He's dead now. Killed himself with cigarettes. I'm 14. My sister is 17. She moves out. My mother and I did not have a place to live, so we spent that summer on a surf trip. My mother turned it into that. I'm not an idiot. I have a 168 IQ. I knew what was happening. Police come knocking on the door in the middle of the night. The door of what? Our borrowed hatchback. I never felt we were in danger. My mom and I were dine and dashing. Go wait in the car, kid. I'll be right out. I'm going to the bathroom. She didn't pay the bill. I'm not crying. There's no tears. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. There's tons of fucking YouTubers talking about how they came from nothing. That's the standard, isn't it? My wife is not a stockbroker. She's not a real estate agent. She's not an insurance agent. She's done all of those things, and she still holds the licenses for us. Hasn't worked since months after meeting me. Life is very good. And our dichotomy, our relationship, she never wanted for anything growing up. And I didn't have anything growing up. I'm the perfect guy to teach you to be careful, to watch out for these charlatans. Coin laundromats are a phenomenal business if you know how to do it, how to start, and how to get into it. I'm not hard to get a hold of, kids. You can comment on this video or you can send me an email, Danny@freelaundromat.com. We're going to Formula One races. That's what we're doing. Ciao.